If you want to have a chance at naming the Pokemon or extending the lead for one of the leading choices right now, then please get your donations in. Thank you all very much for supporting us.
Alright, hi, I'm tzann, this is the witness. Akane is here to help me explain stuff because I'm bad at that. So, are you ready?
Yep.
Can you press the button? 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, this is the witness. It's a puzzle game about drawing lines. We try to draw lines fast.
Sometimes we do less well than other times.
Yep. This is the tutorial area. The puzzles are not hard. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a few bits of kind of tech in this game. It's mostly just about optimizing your 3D movement and then more so about optimizing your 2D movement on the panel solves. One sort of major bit of tech that you can kind of see here is that when we get to the end of the panel, we're going to basically push the mouse hard in a direction, and the line is just going to slide right into the end because it'll just push itself around all the corners. Like right there at the end of that one, that's a lot faster than it would have been if we tried to trace out the exact shape. So that's something you can use to speed things up a lot. That's sort of the main bit of tech in this game, I guess, to speed up solves. Mostly it is about learning the solves, learning how to do them quickly, learning what to do in what order and like what comes next. Any percent is like the I guess it's the shortest like completion category of this game. There are 11 lasers in this game, and once you've done 7 of them, you can progress and get the normal ending of the game. Once you've done all 11, there's another whole area that opens up, but we don't care about that in any percent. So this is a bit of town, which is one of the laser areas in the game. It's one of the 7 lasers we're going to be getting. Town is actually the slowest laser in the route. Desert is another laser that we don't get. It's about like 10 seconds slower for the average player. It gets even slower as you get better at the game. So when you're starting out, it's often a good idea to do desert instead of town. But when you get at a higher level, and tzann is currently world record holder, it becomes a lot better to do town.
So here's the first kind of skip-like thing. We're just going to wedge our face into this gate and we can solve the panel through here.
Yeah, so if you were to do this normally, you'd have to solve, I think it's 21 panels to open the gates, which would give you the solution to that final panel. That's the first laser we've activated. We kind of left town halfway through with unfinished business. That's fine. Yeah, we're going to come back there later. It just turns out to be fastest to do a little bit of town while we're there the first time. And then we're going to come back and do a little bit more a bit later. So a lot of the puzzles kind of look like we're just arbitrarily drawing a line to the solution. Casually in this game, a lot of the puzzles are based on symbols on the panels, and a lot of them are based on environmental clues, like these ones here in Keep. They're a puzzle based on the hedge mazes and environmental like hints as to how you find the solution. This is the second laser we're going to get. So yeah, we need 7 of them. We're going to, after we do Keep, we're going to come and do... Gosh, I haven't run any percent in so long.
We do the second part of town.
We go back and finish town, and then we're going to go to Monastery, then we're going to go to Jungle, and just start it. Then we're going to go to Bunker, then we're going to go and finish Jungle, and then we're going to go and finish Bunker, and then we're going to go and do Swamp, and then we're going to go do Mountain.
Yeah. What's interesting about this game as a speed game is that it's completely different from the casual experience because there's almost no actual puzzle solving, and it's mostly about accurate mouse movement and just going fast, whereas when you're playing casually, it's all about solving puzzles.
Yeah, as a speed game, this is more akin to like an FPS than it is a puzzle game, like by all intents and purposes. There are going to be 2 puzzles we do have to solve during this run. There are 2 randomly generated panels near the end of the run, very near the end actually.
You want to talk about snipes?
Now's probably a good time. So we're solving these panels a little farther away than is intended by the developer. Well, it's possible to do. The intended way is to solve a panel which lowers a staircase, which lets you get up to that roof so that you can solve those. But if you're good enough, you can get accurate enough mouse movement, then you can just solve them from the floor. You need to stand at a very specific place to get enough height so that you can actually see the bottom of the panels so that you can finish them. But it saves quite a bit of time. There's another set of snipes we do, which save way more time than those do. That'll be in Swamp. We basically don't do Swamp. We skip the whole thing. With a couple of well-placed snipes. Oops. This solve is impossible, by the way. This is not a panel that's physically possible to solve fast. The hexagonal lines on that get really awkward.
That was down.
Pretty good so far. So there's another sort of, I guess, movement tech thing. In this version of the game, there was patched like November that changed the movement. In this version of the game, when you click in to start solving panels, you actually decelerate a little bit rather than just instantly stopping. We kind of use that to our advantage in some cases because we deliberately click into solve mode, which is when we get that cursor, earlier than we are lined up with the panel. And then while we decelerate, we use that time to get our cursor lined up and to get us in better position. So we click in a bit earlier, it saves a little bit of time.
Yeah, another thing that was changed in that patch is just the base player movement speed. So we move a tiny bit faster and accelerate to max speed a bit faster, which enables another skip coming up relatively soon.
Yeah. We also move like faster on slopes than we used to, which just generally saves time. There's a fair bit of hills you have to run up in the game. So this is a good example of the sort of sliding as you click into solve mode. We click in slightly early and we use that deceleration time to position our cursor over the start point. That's the sort of first bit of jungle that we're going to be doing. We're going to come back to it after we do the first bit of bunker. The reason we sort of split up jungle and bunker like that, and also I guess related to the reason we split up town, it's just like faster in run speed. You don't want to have to like you want to route things in the best order, and there's no obligation to finish an area you've started, so you can just come back and finish it later. Specifically in bunker, the area we're in right now, there's a elevator that runs all the way up to the top, and that's sort of the main puzzle of bunker, if you like, is figuring out how that elevator works. Obviously, we already know how it works because we've played this game a lot of times. But waiting on the elevator to actually move to the top is really slow. So we use the time that the elevator's moving up and we go finish jungle. So that when we come back to bunker, we're going to reach the top of the elevator and then we're just going to send that up to the laser and then do that.
Do you guys have time for some quick donations?
Yep.
Now's a pretty good time, yeah.
We have a $30 donation from Anonymous, no comment. We have a $10 donation from Corey, who says, "Good luck on the witness, tzann. At least in this run, you can't be beaten by anyone on stage, XD." And we also have a $50 donation from William Sem42. "Happy to see tzann and Ekin representing the witness community at ESA. Wishing you good luck and nice doors, warmer 7 love." Put this donation towards Zann's choice.
Thanks, guys. So casually, the puzzles in the jungle area are pitch-based. That's what you can, all those background sounds you can hear that are incredibly obnoxious. That's about telling you the solutions to the puzzles. This game has some really interesting differences in how you solve the puzzles. Like, some of the areas are like entirely based on what's on the panel.
That was a skip, by the way. Usually you have to walk all the way around because the wall blocks you, but because player movement speed was increased, we can now just walk over it while it activates.
Yeah, that saves like, what, 30 seconds?
24.
24. That was a pretty big discovery when that was found. It made us more grateful for the patch. So this is the somewhat obnoxious end of jungle.
Oops, wrong order.
Ideally, you want to do door first there, because well, then you can just do the laser panel while you're waiting for the door to open, and you lose less time. Because one thing about this game is everything is really, really slow. The bunker elevator is really, really slow. The bridges in Swamp, for instance, are really, really slow. Fortunately, we're not actually going to see any of the bridges in Swamp, because we have a pretty big skip for it.
I unsolved the elevator there twice just to make it go down a tiny bit faster. It saves almost nothing.
Yeah, you can do that up to 3 times, I think, to increase the speed of the elevator descending. Alright, so we're coming up on Swamp Snipes, which is I guess like probably the biggest single time save we have. Like if we didn't do swamp, we'd have to do desert instead, which is probably like a good minute and a half. Maybe not a whole minute and a half. Slower, but okay. So this is swamp snipe. We line up the panels in the corner of our screen because snipes are easier when they're in the corner of the screen because we have this sort of like reverse fisheye effect. Things get bigger when they're in the corner. And we're going to put in the solutions to those panels, and that opens up a shortcut. Nice. Those were pretty good. Second one was a bit messy.
Yeah. Good enough.
Normally you'd open that shortcut after already getting the laser, and having gone through swamp and waited for a bunch of really slow bridges to move. But instead we just go ahead and solve that from distance and then do the laser. It's a pretty helpful skip to have.
Yep.
Good pace. Well, pretty good.
So now we've activated all 7 lasers. We're going to be going to the top of the mountain where we can then enter the mountain once all 7 lasers have activated. Because the lasers are super slow, we're going to have a bit of wait time at the top, but that's fine.
Yeah, so the order we do the lasers in, we deliberately do swamp last rather than finishing bunker last because bunker takes way longer to aim. Again, everything in this game moves really slowly.
So we have some time to kill here.
Yeah, if you've got any donations or if you've got anything you want to plug, you have a little bit of time to do it now.
Absolutely. We have a $51 donation from Basti1350. It says, "Hi, greetings to Speedrun Dale. I'd also like to shout out another one of our partners, Elgato, who have been supporting ESA for the past 3 events. This year with 4 streaming pods on the back of the main streaming room, allowing attendees to stay connected with their community and bring their community a part of ESA. They're also supporting the event with multiple prizes supporting charitable cause, including the brand new Stream Deck Mini."
Alright, so we're coming into... I guess everything else until this point has really just been warm-up. This run is mostly about the mountain. The mountain has a lot of hard panels to solve quickly, not just casually. This set of orange panels here are pretty tough.
Yeah, mostly because the lines don't actually line up with the grid that your mouse, your cursor isn't aligned to the grid that the panel is solving on, basically, because they're offset.
Yeah, they have like that sort of gimmick to them.
The second half that I'm doing now is going to be even worse because they're moving while you solve them.
Yeah, if anyone gets nauseous easily, I would close your eyes for the last panel. Oh, pretty clean actually.
Yeah, it was okay.
One time I got like a really clean orange 7 and then I've never replicated it, and every time I've done orange 7 since then it's been really, really disappointing.
These purple panels are also awkward because the angle is super sharp.
Yeah, like the whole like visibility and like angle thing is kind of the gimmick of this area of the mountain. That purple panel we just solved is actually like there's a new solution for that. Like a lot of the rooting of this game is rooting this game, and then a lot of it is finding the optimal solutions for panels. There's not a whole lot to optimize in any percent, but that purple panel there, the second one, was actually one of the most recently changed solutions in any percent. We found one that is generally easy to solve. A lot of the optimization is about reducing the amount of line segments you have to draw. The other thing you want to optimize is reducing the number of corners you have to draw, because that's where it's easy to go down the wrong path.
Like that.
Like that. These big panels with a big grid are especially annoying for that. Decent. So this is the second floor of mountain. This like light bridge puzzle where we draw lines on on a puzzle and then they appear as bridges is... This floor is actually probably one of my favorite puzzles in the game, I would say.
It looks like I'm solving the same panel over and over again, but it has a purpose. Trust me.
Yeah, so there's 6 of these panels, and you need to solve the first one, and then you need to solve the first and second simultaneously, and then the first, second, and third simultaneously, and then so on and so forth. But the game will let you solve any individual panel to do that, so you can just solve the first one 6 times. The solution gets more complicated as we go because we want to use faster solutions when we don't have as many restrictions. So that's why we did, like, there's 4 different solves?
Yep. I think so.
Yeah. We have to run back and forth a few times here to finish this floor up. And that's one of my favorite puzzles casually. I think it's really cool. Nice. Alright, we're coming up on the end of the run. This is the mountain elevator. It takes us down very slowly, as previously established, to the 3rd floor of the mountain, where there'll be a few puzzles to input the solutions to, and then there'll be 2 randomly generated puzzles. He's never seen them before. Well, there's a good chance he's never seen them before.
There's a limited amount of puzzles that can be generated, but it's somewhere in the realm of 10,000 or so. So a couple of them, I don't know, you eventually learn to recognize.
When you have enough runners, like running the game pretty frequently and doing a lot of random doors, you end up seeing the same things. There's a little bit of optimization with these panels where you want to right-click out early in order to preserve some of the momentum from finishing the solve. So these are the random solves. I'm going to be quiet. I don't see this. I didn't see that. Oh.
Might have been a staircase.
I think it was like...
Sure.
Yeah.
Not an obvious one at any rate. This one's easy.
Yeah, that looks good. Nice. That's pretty good. You want to first try. Sometimes the panels decide that you're not first trying and you get a really hard panel. It happens.
These pillars are fun.
So the movement in these pillars, these are the last sort of things in the game. The movement in these pillars is something that was changed in the November patch, which is why we initially hated the patch. And then we found out, wait a minute, it makes everything faster. Also, it gives us the ability to do jungle wall skip, which makes everything even faster. So we run on the patch, even though we hate the pillars.
This is the worst puzzle in the game.
This takes like weeks to solve. So the speed at which you solve this right set of pillars actually doesn't matter unless you do it too slowly. Solving the first set of pillars is what triggers the elevator to start rising. Solving the second set is what triggers the doors to open and the rocks which allow us to reach the elevator to rise up out of the water. So basically, as long as you solve the second set before the elevator finishes rising up, it doesn't lose any time.
Can you get ready to press the button?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So we just need to wait for them.
Yeah, this is the fun part of the run. This is where you like hope that you're not gonna miss PB.
And I walk in backwards because I need to solve something behind me.
That's time.
1708. Not bad.
Not bad. Pretty good. You didn't quite cut my PB.
Not quite. Not quite.
So world record is
1540.
1540. Second place is 1543, and third place is 1650. There's kind of a skill jump in this game. So yeah, that was the witness.
Yep, that was it.
That was 90%.
Mm-hmm. That's it from us, I think.
Yeah, that's about all we have to say.